Before we start, please silence your mobile phones, please. If anybody has a mobile phone that's switched on, please put it to silent. Okay, thank you very much. We'll start off. The ordinary meeting agenda is number 1, apologies. I will now hand over to the clerk to read out a list of apologies.
I've received apologies from Councillor Buzzenworth and Councillor Wright.
Robert Hawley, he's got a bad back.
Thank you.
Any more apologies?
No?
Do we all accept those apologies?
Yes.
Thank you. Number 2, declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest from members in relation to items on the agenda? Are there any? If there is, later on, please say just before the actual... Are you alright, Margaret?
Well, they're all from left handed.
Oh, right!
So I can't help them.
Oh, right. Kevin knows
The printers,
It's whoever comes to.
So if there's any declarations of interest later on, please say so just before the actual item is spoken about. Thank you. Number 3, public participation time. Members of the public may now speak. Is there anybody who wishes to speak to the members of the public, please? I'll take gentleman there first and then
Yeah, Rob Greenwood. These on the footpaths round by the church, they're now hanging down, people have to bend down to get underneath them, and the lights on there are just useless because the trees are around them. I think this has been mentioned a long time ago in this meeting, and it's a joke.
Right, we'll make sure that that is passed on to the relative authority. I'm not sure whether it's Scarborough or North Yorkshire.
Just one other thing, the map in the town guide is showing Belview Street one way.
One way.
So
Right.
proof with it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for that one. Smooth?
Good evening, everybody. I have a couple of questions. The first question is in relation to your information that you put on the Farley Town Council website. I noticed that since May was the last video recording that was put onto that site. Like many members of the public, I like to see what's going on with council and what issues there are. And I'm finding that I can't catch up with what's happening in the meetings because they're not posted on the Farley Town Council website. Is there a reason for that?
I'll pass you on to the class.
Yeah, the reason is that the Town Council website is being currently updated. This will be completed within the next couple of weeks, and everything will be updated and got into the correct order. Since May, it's been very difficult, in fact, to get anything on the website of that size.
Okay.
That leads me on to the next question. And the next question was, I also like to look at the meetings agendas that are coming up, and on your hyperlinks, not one of them opens. So you can't see what the agenda is going to be, what reports are being put by the councillors, or what's going to be talked about even in this meeting tonight. So there was 12 hyperlinks for this meeting, not one of them opened, not even your code of conduct opened. And I noticed that on the hyperlink there's actually a letter missing out of the address at the top. And it says Farley Town Council. And then missing that bit, so it's probably not open because the right HTTP address has been put in. But it wasn't only for this agenda. I went back to look at the other ones, and not one of them opens on the other ones.
How far did you go back?
I went back 3 months.
3 months.
So you can't see what the issues and what's being talked about.
But again, it's an issue that we've got with the website and the method of transference that we've got at the moment. The hyperlink is incredibly unstable when it's being copied and moved. So it is something that we are addressing, and we're hoping to get that again improved upon by an improved method of transferring, improving the hyperlink on.
Any idea how long?
But it should be within weeks.
They're all my only questions. Thank you.
Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Is there any more members of the public wish to speak at this point? No, thank you very much then. Those questions have been noted and I'm sure action will be taken on them. Thank you. Number 4, North Yorkshire Police Reports. Jane, Community Officer.
Hi. So I'm new to the area, but I'm mostly at Eastfield, but I'll occasionally be popping in and out. So I'm just going to meet you all and to deliver the latest report. Get to meet you and you to meet me. Caroline's also popping in and out, but she's been doing rural, I think, mostly. Yeah.
Have you all had a chance to read the report?
Yeah.
Right, thank you very much. Carry on.
Does anybody have any questions before I go through it, rather than...
Any questions for Jane before we start? Councillor
Not a
Stafford.
question, it's just that I was delighted that crime figures are down yet again. What's that true?
The down.
Down,
I think it's just increased patrols, to be honest. We've just done a review of precinct service and I'm one of them. So there are more people around generally. I think working with the partner agencies and stuff kind of makes it a little bit easier to kind of tackle things because we're now in a better routine of sort of spreading out the job loads with more people involved. Like, for example, I know I'm going to use Eastfield, but we do with the housing, and I'm sure we do it here too. But I've been at one with Eastfield. They'll go around and do ASB, so they're a little more on top of it. So I think that corroborates with our new intake of NYC has helped to keep them down. We, someone calling me on the way in, I can't remember who it was. Report today, we've been very busy today, but I know for a fact it'll be noted, and at some point there'll be increased patrol, or there'll be, most of the officers will know who they are, so it will be dealt with in due course. Unfortunately, we're not superheroes, but we try to be. I'm just waiting for the date. So with regards to that, yeah, we're just, it's good that it's going down there.
Good.
There's a couple of things on it that I'm particularly massively aware of. One of them is the St Oswald Church, and people seeing things at the graveyard. There's massively increased patrols around there. There's got signs up and really trying to be which is really bad taste. There's a lot of respect for the families and people buried there, so they're really trying to tackle that one as quick as they can. I believe that it has helped. I haven't been in the office there, I've been on a CSI attachment, so I haven't had a chance to ask. But they are, the local, the SNT team are on it. And with regards to the man with the distinctive clothing, his purple light man, we called him, Caroline and myself actually went to go find him. We looked high and low for him, but we couldn't locate him. We did speak to the kid, and that is on our daily briefing to keep an eye out. We don't have any leads as of yet, but it's certainly not going ignored, especially in the height of summer. So you may see a lot more patrolling in unusual areas just to see if we can catch places. But just because we have a caution does not mean we don't give up. We don't aim to think that that's what will happen. We've recently done some like community events regarding like people with fraud, cold calls and that, particularly for elderly people and how they can manage it. We had a lot of interest when we were at Lidl and at Eastfield on Seymour Road. I believe we did one in Filey as well. So we're hoping all of our information leaflets and our sort of, interaction with the public might help that. If you do have any issues with it, just let us know and we'll investigate further.
Can I just ask you a question about cold calling? Do you have any powers to move people on that's in the cold calling area?
I don't know that we We can get the name and address and we can deal with it. I mean, we've got to see how lawful they are, but could we certainly move someone on, could not?
The reason I had a guy on a challenge person that was knocking on doors, it was during the winter, and it was quite dark, about 8 o'clock in the evening.
That's not
And he
lawful.
said, there's nothing you can do about it, I can go wherever I like.
You know what, in that instance, I would still call it in, because 9 o'clock at night in the winter is not a normal time to be stopping anything or doing anything.
That's not it.
Yeah, if anything that you would seem suspicious, so are you not in daylight and odd times trying to sell things that are really odd, report it, and we can try and do something about it. Especially winter, we're kind of a little less busy somewhat, so we might actually be able to target quicker. It's a bit things like beggars on the street not meant to do it, but it's hard to find that fine line to actually manage to do it. But we are on it, but we do need to know about it, so I'd still say at least, at the very least, we want to know that time night in winter, anyway, I'll probably even recommend it. That's up to you to give a judgment on that one. But certainly anything that follows, whether you say you can do anything about it or not, if you're feeling unsettled, that's not what we want. So we need to know about it so we can fix it, so all you guys feel safe in your own homes, at the very, very least. Anyone have any other questions?
Is there any more questions for Jane? Yes, I'll, Councillor Cross.
Really just the house clean, I've spoken to residents of Chesterfield Farm and that area, and there's been a lot of damage to like sort of social behaviour, and I've seen when I've been walking up that way, we ought to be impressed as well, Sonny Bates spends a lot of his time up there, you know, looking around and, you know, keeping up with it, and I know Sonny is very much on the case of as to what's going on, so.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Is there any more town councillors wish to speak? Councillor Broderick.
It's West Road, Collins on West Road. The bottom half from school down to the rampart is one way. There are a number of people inside who obviously can't read, or they haven't seen the sign. But it's become noticeable this week because of the work that's going on at school. We had a crane thing backing down this morning because it couldn't get round the corner onto Norman Crescent.
Right.
And a lorry load of bricks yesterday doing a similar thing. Now, I don't know whether or not coming down, because I don't have to come down that way, so I won't know, whether or not it's obvious that from the signage that it is one way, or whether they're just being stupid. I really have got no way of knowing. But it is becoming a bit of a nightmare to be trying, because the parking's both sides, there's only really one lane in the middle, and then they can't get out.
Yeah. Well, we'll have a look at that before we actually do it on our way back. Just to have a better assessment, then we can contact you when we need to contact with regards to if it is badly signed, we can put those in place to make better signage or deal with it. Just bear with us on that one, but we will look at it.
Yeah, just for the construction vehicles, and you can't get round, might need to put some replacement cones or something.
I don't think they realise they can't get round until they get there, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Because it's quite a short sort of left-hander. And a big vehicle will not do it, particularly if it's caused about outside.
Thank you. Councillor Wright.
Well, I can't understand why they're coming down West Avenue. They've created a new entrance to the back of my house.
Yeah.
There
And
is.
they're going in there. They're going wrong way, I think, this is what they're doing, I've got lost.
Can we have one at a time, please?
You don't come to me until you go to the thing. They're in and out all day. So they're getting wrong information. So it might be worth you having a word with the builders.
Do you know if there's any temporary signage for the builders? Because you know, like, there's construction, sometimes they do like construction one way. Do you know if there's any?
Their signs are up, but they just open the gate in the morning. I'm just waiting for somebody to park over there where they have the gates, because they haven't put no parking there. Anti-cruel.
Well, we'll look into that one as well, because that might actually coincide with the one-way issue.
Yeah.
If we can get some clear-cut signs for
Yeah,
it's only going to be temporary with the construction, but nonetheless it still needs to be accessible for all of you guys.
If you want to have a word with the site manager,
Yeah.
he'll put things into place
Yeah.
where they do come in the right way if they can. Councillor Wilkie.
Yeah, just on that, the site, whoever's running the site should give a map of the entrance to any vehicles. that's what they should do. And they probably are.
Well, we'll look into that as well, because we can make all three of those and cooperate it together. So just bear with us, but we'll definitely look into it. Like I can probably do a drive-by on our way out back to you too.
Is there any more councillors wish to say anything? No, well, I've just got one. I thought you were willing. Parking on footpaths. The law's now come in, it's been in 2 or 3 months where they can get time for parking on footpaths. And there was one particular one that parked in front of the corner cafe, completely blocking the footpath. Right?
Yeah.
And I can actually give you its
If you have it up.
reg.
Yeah, give me that.
I'll phone it in after. because
James
my
got a
phone's
card,
on.
if you want.
Yeah, okay.
I'll phone it in afterwards.
Fine.
Okay.
With that, what I was going to say is, with regards to pavement, in that case, it was inaccessible. But if people could get past with a wheelchair or something, it is kind of allowed.
No, now it isn't, because there's a law, they just nicely come in that anybody parking on the footpaths, even if they have 2 wheels on the footpath, can actually get fined.
Is it for Scarborough Council, or is it for the police?
No, it's all over the country. Councillor Shackleton.
Just have a morning walk round finally, quick dozens of including police vehicles.
All the brownie points you get.
Please say we are not part of any pavement.
Oh, yes, you do.
No,
Sorry.
right now, we are not part.
Oh, you are not,
No.
Councillor Mead.
Regarding this subject, if you go back, when Sergeant Gosling was here, he informed myself at the council meeting, if any vehicle was parked on the pavement, if you rang 101, reported it, it's blocking your way because it's parked on the footpath, the police will come out and give him a parking ticket, because it shouldn't be there.
Okay, thank you. Is any other councillors wish to say anything? No? Well, thank you very much for coming along tonight. And it's your first time, and you've done really well. Thank you. We move on now to number 5 on the agenda. Borough and County Council's reports. Scarborough Borough Councillors' reports. Councillor Cross, do you have any comments to make with reference to Councillor Cross's report? You've all had it on your internet. Do you want to add anything to that, Councillor Cross?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind, Chair. I forwarded it to the clerk. Have you seen it?
I have, yes, and I'll pass it on to everyone.
All right, yeah.
It was late on this afternoon.
It was late on when I got home from work and it was 8 o'clock this morning. It says, Councillor Cross apologised we've removed regarding bins at the rear of Hope Street. Apologies, we've removed excess bins and can look to do this again. Although it is usually quite hit and miss and can provoke quite reaction, to be honest, I would suspect now that most of the bins are in use. Other than that, our powers are quite limited following the 2015 deregulation bill, which removed our powers to take formal action through magistrates, because at one time we could, at the back of Oak Street, we looked at it, it's got quite a bit of a nice sort of night, you know, walk down there, we're sitting walking down, they can't do anything. We looked again yesterday, and there's still lots of things out. At the moment we are very limited with any action, which pretty much extend to requesting their removal, which is difficult for them to action. If they are built over the backyards and literally have nowhere else to store the bins, sorry, I can't provide a solution on this one. So all I'm saying for that, you know, if anyone's got any ideas, I'll take it back to the Briggs on your behalf for the case, you know, forward sort of thing. But at one stage, you mean, you know, as I say, I know that correlates sort of thing. And we used to be able to tie them up, but now, due to the 2015 Act, we're a bit stuck.
Councillor Mead.
It's nice to see Sam here actually. If you look at the statement from MJC, if you read the top on the Country Park, well, Sam's not coming tonight.
Have you seen this, Sam?
No, I can't get into the hyperlinks like normal.
No. Well, it states here, it will not be possible for SPC to attend your August meeting. It goes on to Councillor Cross, Councillor Allington are to be invited to attend a briefing, and it is hoped it will be possible to take some basic information for your September meeting. So I don't know where you've been, but you're here.
Well, I'm here, and I think I mentioned in my report that it's scheduled for the 22nd of August, and I'll be attending the August.
So where have you got that information from? I just do not know.
Councillor Shackleton.
I did suggest to Councillor Cross the other evening when we met in the street, Chair, that this proposed meeting with SPC and this external agency, I do believe that the Chair of this Council should attend that meeting.
The whole chairs of the
Chair of
just Miss Allen.
Council.
Okay.
Can I just come in there, Mark?
Yeah, well, we're still going.
Yeah, I have suggested that the meeting happens on the 22nd, and I have suggested to the officers and Councillor Cockrell, Stuart Clark, who will be there, Lisa Dixon, and Councillor Addington. Will the Town Council be invited who signed a memorandum of understanding with SPC without standing up? So I have put it that I think that you ought to be there, so.
Right, thank you for that, Councillor Cross. Are there any more questions for Councillor Cross? No, thank you very much. We'll go on to Councillor Cockrell's report now. You've all read that report. Is there any questions on that that we could possibly answer? Councillor Olden-Bounce.
Mine isn't a question, mine's just some more information regarding flat clips. At the bottom here, put the project just along the life of the access road that we're having put in. We're having a meeting sometime in October with the residents and with Bourne Leisure to see if there is another road full-time to remain in situ rather than this one that's just up for 10 to 20 years. So that's just to let everybody know there is a conversation going to get a full road in there.
Councillor Wright, do you wish to?
Yes, it's something that I've been asked to put forward to both the Council Cross and Councillor Cockrell. On Sunday, when it was the library, there was a boat being pulled on a rope up the ravine.
That's right.
Yeah, and it was swaying about. And it swung to one side, and well, I don't know, actually injured, but it trapped a person, and apparently, Rebecca tells me, I'd only just moved from that spot where it was in, because it swung into Charles Baker's boat, and I've been sat at the side of Charles Baker's. And it has been suggested that all the, and a lot of the vehicles have been taking the boats down and leaving their cars on the beach again. And it goes down, and apparently the chap who's doing the thing now is very, very good. And he has been going down, but for a sea. And then he tells them when they come up, it's too late, what can he do? You can't make them move it while they're at sea. But it was suggested that if it's a busy time, like that it's suspended for the weekend, for safety's sake. Because Rebecca has a chalet, and she said she could see somebody being killed. She said it was really, really dangerous on Sunday with this boat. She said it was just swaying from side to side, and they hadn't any idea. And it trapped somebody.
Well, I was there, Marion, at Councillor Wright. I was there.
Yeah.
Right, I was down there, and I actually saw it happen myself.
Yeah.
Okay. Monday morning, I came in, and it was reported to the harbour master at Scarborough straight away and asked if they could have any details about health and safety and down there. Okay, so Farley Town Council has actually reported that to them.
Now, Rebecca's son-in-law has got a photograph and the car registration.
Mhm.
So if you want that, you would contact Rebecca Horner.
Right. Thank you for that, Marion. I also spoke to the SPC guy that's down there, right, and asked him, because he was right on the job himself as well, and I asked him if anybody was hurt down there, and he said no, there wasn't. And he said, I also said, well, was there anybody in between the boat and the other boat? And he said, no, there wasn't.
Oh,
So,
I was told different, but anyway.
you know, I can only go on what he says, obviously. Right. So, but it has definitely been reported, and we're awaiting an answer.
That's great, yeah. We have suggested that we look at their risk assessments and method statements for how that area is operated, especially in times where it's busy.
There was also, did you notice, Councillor Wright, the black car halfway up the beach, right at the side? That has got a ticket on it.
Right.
The ticket is here.
Yes.
So-
Oh, yes, apparently, they came back to the car, and there were several of them in it, and they looked at it, said, oh, it's a Tuesday parking, that, I think.
Well, Councillor Shackleton.
That's attitude, you say.
I wasn't aware, Chair, that they had any jurisdiction over parking on the beach.
Well, apparently he got a ticket for it, so that's what I was told by the SBC guy. I can only go on what he tells me.
We've also got to remember that common landing is for boats.
Exactly.
But, you know, these boat owners, they've got to be sensible about things and take care. You know, we don't want idiots down there, particularly on a busy weekend like that. But I did notice it's not only boat people that are coming up. There was private cars as well. I stood there for quite over an hour or so, and several cars came up.
Right. Councillor Hampstead.
Marion's right. The bottom half of the cobble landing and the beach is becoming a public car park. There are cars parked at the bottom, of 4 or 5 in a row at the bottom of the cobble landing. I had a word with the new beach superintendent, David. He rang the harbour master who got the traffic warden out. Now they can ticket cars on the cobble landing, but they can't ticket cars on the beach. My argument is it's their cobble landing and they can control cars going across the cobble landing to went to the beach, which they should be doing. Because there are cars littered on the beach, parked higgledy-piggledy. There was a black one on the beach in front of the seawall where they were apparently just sunbathing out of it. They're driving along and coming Erin Hill. It's just totally uncontrolled. And you know, Councillor Cochrane's supposed to be sorting the cobble landing out. You know, it's about time we got something done, because apparently it was Ruggo referenced the yellow box outside the lifeboat house, which if you look at the lifeboat house on the right hand side, it's been tarmacked over. And he was asked if he could get it remarked in yellow actions, and he just sort of mumbled something and disappeared, as is his wont, you know. The cobble landing really does need sorting out. It will, it's a fatality waiting to happen. So, I'd like to
Okay, is there any, can we wait until we get a reply from the harbour master on this one? On the car and the boat job, please, and then we'll take it from there. If we need to go any further with it, we will do, believe me. Councillor Shackleton.
I'd just like to say that cobble landing is the safest place for launching boats. What we don't want is for idiots to tear down Erin Hill, as I believe happened last year, when a gentleman came along and he wouldn't pay charges, so he just sped off and went straight down Erin Hill, which I consider to be more dangerous than, you know, launching from a cobble landing.
Okay. Councillor Wilkie.
Can I, well, considering Councillor Cockle's not in attendance, can I bring up the installation of the statue in Memorial Gardens?
Oh, that's on further down.
Is it?
Yeah, agenda.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we'll leave it time for that. Councillor Mead.
The cobble landing attendant, do we know regarding this incident with the boat, did he report it on Sunday or not? Or has he reported it?
I don't know. We did.
When I spoke to the officer at the harbour master, she was unaware of the incident, because it was first thing Monday morning. She was unaware of it, but she did promise that it will be fully investigated and she would be getting a full report from the attendant who was there at the time.
I'd like to know why he hasn't reported it.
If he hasn't. He might have.
We don't know, do we? Right, thank you. Is any more on that one? Councillor Paxton.
It's just one that I hope maybe Sam can take forward. The lot was made over the trading water results for 2017, where Friday received a good and not an outstanding, and Scarborough South Reach was put. The fact is that Scarborough Borough Council have not posted any results for 2018. There is not one result posted on any of their notice boards. Now they're under a legal obligation to post the results as soon as they are published. Now I know the confirmed results come off within a week, and they started sampling the 1st of May, so it's now 4 months, and they still have not put one bathing water result on the notice boards leading down to the beach. I like this taking forward, but I think that's disgusting, especially when they're under a legal obligation to do so.
Councillor Cross?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Right, thank you very much, Councillor Cross, on that one. Is there any more questions on Councillor Cockrell's report, please? No? Okay, we'll move on. Councillor Swales.
Firstly, can I thank everyone involved for my insight to the return of the dragon. I had an extremely pleasant morning. The vegetable band sounded good, and the parade through the town. It was just so heartbreaking for all the people involved and all the work that they put in, that it had to be cancelled because of the weather. It was just so heartbreaking when we've had such good weather either side of it. Right, and also had a very pleasant day at the library's official reopening following its refurbishment. The chairman of North Yorkshire, Robert Windass, he came and did the pleasantry. It's been redecorated and the IT facilities have been developed, and there are plenty of spaces for visitors to connect to the free Wi-Fi and what have you. Or they can use one of the library computers. The children's area is lovely, and the mobile bookshelves, I think it'll be so much better because they'll be able to make space for and be far more flexible. North Yorkshire invested £56,000 in the refurbishment, and £10,000 has gone to the new stock. Now to get down to business proper really. The hedge at the junction of Wharfdale and Ruston Road, they have had a site meeting with the residents and have agreed to a compromise. Some of the hedges to be removed completely and some of it to be cut back, which should improve visibility. The Wharfdale, the trees on Wharfdale, that's still ongoing. There has been a complaint from a resident which is being dealt with, but that's all still in progress. I can't remember which meeting it was at, I think it was the June one, about the parking on Melville Terrace and the keep clear signs and people parking on them, which have followed up. And I have got an agreement that ideally the keep clear markings do need replacing with a double yellow line, which would require a traffic regulation order. But they, as you know, have to be prioritised, and there's only a very limited number issued, so I wouldn't hold your breath, sort of thing. You know all the criteria, I don't need to repeat it, do I? Do you
Well,
want to hear it?
some of the councillors
To meet the traffic regulation order, they need to meet the following criterion. It's TROs which are required as part of a highway scheme that have secured funding for the current financial year, which are required to guarantee enforceability of an existing restriction, which will address an existing road safety issue with a proven casualty history. You always come against that one. Which will provide a disabled parking bay, that is the council's policy requirements are met, which would improve an existing and significant congestion problem. So the answer I've received back is, sorry, they can't help currently, but they do acknowledge that it is some time since we've had a review of the parking provision in Filey. And so and Amber agrees with me, and we're pushing that as hard as we can to get a review. So that is something that we will keep pushing for, because I think that overall Filey does need that review for the entire parking. And I rather think that the signage for the parking down at West Avenue, it's not very good. You know, anybody strangely coming in, I don't think it's very good. So that is something that we'll keep pushing for. I mean, the entire country, there's just more cars about, the entire country has a parking problem. So, I mean, we won't cure it, but we should try and make better use of what we've got. Now, there was there was talk of the cold calling.
Yes.
Well, trading standards have a joint initiative with the police and another department, and 3 men have just been brought to book. They were scamming people on roofing, and you know. There was a gentleman in Whitby that was down nearest to us, and I think he spent about £10,000, and the work that was done was only about £100 worth. And there was a couple in Staffordshire and one in Exeter that these men have been brought to book for. So if anybody knows of anything, do please contact Trading Standards, and they'll put them onto this initiative, because it's this sort of information that's needed to bring these type of people to book.
Have you got their number?
Well, I haven't got it with me, because it's only because we've been mentioning it, made me think of it.
Right.
And as you know, I've got this environmental budget, and there is a recurring problem at Bellevue with the one-way system, as you know. And again, I've had the traffic section look at it again, and all I get is it's an enforcement issue, the signage is all fine, and that's all I'm getting. But a suggestion did come from one of the members of the traffic section, that perhaps if we did something with the island, the entrance there. But there is no money in the budget for it. But it is something I could use this environmental budget for. But I really want feedback as to whether anybody thinks it's a good idea, because the quote that I have for doing this work would be between £5,000 and £10,000. But obviously my budget won't cover it. I would need to match funding from somewhere. So, you.
Explain what?
And I've not considered it's a good idea yet.
No. Councillor Wright's asking you to explain what you were meaning by
What
altering
your
the...
proposal would be.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not an engineer and I'm not sure I fully understand it, but to extend the island so that it would come out further, and therefore deterring people, would be a sort of more physical barrier, and hopefully to deter people from turning down. But I'm not. I don't know how successful it would be.
Bellevue Street.
Sorry, do you mean at
I
Chapel
don't
Corner?
think you mean Bellevue Street.
No, at
Chapel Corner?
Bellevue Crescent. Bellevue Crescent.
Bellevue Crescent.
Because I keep getting reports that people are turning down there, going down the wrong way. It's that one-way system. May I have to say what it is? Well, that's what I'm
One
told.
time, please.
I've been told by a number of people that it's happening, including residents on Bellevue Crescent. And they're telling me it's happening...
As a vicar room, yeah?
Yes, I've spoken to them.
Hello, Mrs. Goldie.
I'm just going to make it clear, sorry to interrupt you, to make it clear because I don't think it's quite... Bellevue Crescent, when you come up, when you go down the main street, past the bus station, and then you're not allowed to turn right there, are you? There's already a little island there. I think it's when Council Square for the entrance, it's not the exit onto that main street. And there's already a little island there, isn't
Yeah, but
there?
people are turning down into
Yes,
it.
they are. Yes, they are.
I thought you meant coming up West Avenue to turn right, where we've always tried to get a bit of a...
Well, that is another issue which I keep battling with. But,
Near First Catch.
I've never seen anybody go down the road.
I'm getting a lot of reports about it. Now, I'm just floating it was a suggestion put, and I'm just floating it while I've got this little bit of money, which isn't enough on its own to do it. I have to stress that. And I need to be convinced it's a good idea.
I personally don't be spending that amount of money on. I really don't, because it's the no entry sign that's the problem, not the island.
Well, all I'm getting is it's an enforcement issue, and I've spoken to them and I'm blue in the face, and that's all I'm getting.
I don't know how you can enforce it, because by the time they've come down Station Avenue and turned into the Bellevue Crescent at the First Catch, they're already in the street, and then people shout at them and go, you're in a one-way system, and they turn around and go out. But obviously they can't see the no entry sign. I just think it's badly placed, and that's never going to cost that.
I've again, I mean, this is the third time that I've had the traffic section, and I'm sure some before me did the same thing. And they just keep telling me that the signage and everything is absolutely fine, it's an enforcement issue.
So who's going to enforce that when they're about 2.5 minutes going in there, turning around, going out again? Who's going to enforce it? Nobody.
There's a lot of them out turning around and going back out, Councillor Wright.
Really?
Yes, the vicar actually counted one day, 20 cars go up there the wrong way. So,
What?
and that's why, and this is why I knew he'd actually emailed into the county council.
It's a pity he's got nothing better to do. Just sit there.
I mean, he was the only one who's told me of this.
Yeah, before we go any further, I've got Councillor Wilkie down.
I've just got one quick point about spending money on improving junctions to make it safer. I would prefer it to be done at Chapel Corner and nowhere else.
Yeah.
Because somebody will get killed at Chapel Corner. Before
No, but I just want feedback as to...
Well, I don't think that will be money well spent. Personally, but others might have a different opinion.
Right, thank you for that, Councillor Wilkie. Councillor Meek was next on the list.
One, the edge, which we referred to. You said there come to some agreement. What agreement have they came to or come to?
part of it's to be removed completely.
Yeah, I heard that, but-
And part of it's to be cut back. The
When
remaining part.
when are they going to start doing it?
Oh, they didn't give me a timescale, but...
This is already, I've known about this agreement since last 6 weeks, and that edge is still growing. I have even taken photos of it tonight. So,
Well, there was,
appreciate it if we could get some actual dates.
Well, I'll go back
6 weeks outstanding already.
But that's my understanding, that is what is going to happen. Now, I don't know when, but that is what is going to happen.
Secondly, the trees which you referred to on Wharfdale. Scarborough Council, as far as I know, have finished this work. They haven't been there all week. And I wouldn't pay them out with middles out of washers. I've taken a photo tonight of number 1 lamppost, Wharfdale. I'll show you the photo. If you can see the head of that lamppost, you're a better man than me. You cannot see it for branches. And the light it's given off is nil. Number 3.
go on, transformation.
When they've done the trees, they've put some trees down on Wharfdale. When are they going to remove the stumps? They are a trip hazard. One resident actually cut a tree down and got a summons off the police by a company off Yorkshire, was charged £140 for taking the stump up. But when North Yorkshire cut trees down, they leave the stump. What is the difference? If it's a trip hazard, when it gets reported to a resident, why aren't they taking their stumps up? If you ever get time, we've done the footpaths on Silverwood. Well, Irish navvies could have done better. That is the ringways. It is appalling.
This is being recorded.
I withdraw my comments and apologise, but they could. And when they've done, they put some new edging stones in.
This is still on Silverwood.
Yeah. And they put the new edging stones in. The digger came along, did a small trench, they've done the edging stones and just ripped the verges. They are another hazard. That is a big health and safety hazard. And one of the edging stones is just unbelievable. You can stare at most of them in a straight line. Because 2 of them started, one end at other end, they've overlapped them and it's stuck out. It's just appalling. I wouldn't pay them out of the washers.
Well, could North Yorkshire Council actually go down and look at them?
It would be advisable.
Yeah. It's easiest way. Is that it, Councillor?
Yeah.
Right, thank you. Councillor Thurston's next on the list.
Yeah, it's just back to Bellevue Crescent. I agree that the signage is all there. There's 3 no entry signs. There's no entry painted on the road. There's dotted lines across. It's just ignorance of people turning in there. I don't know how we can educate them. But
Right, thank you for that, Councillor Thurston. Councillor Banks?
Yeah, thank you. Mine's also to do with Bellevue Crescent. I actually did see, it was quite ironic, because there's a police car turning in the correct direction and then there was a car that came and went down the wrong way, which they couldn't do anything about. But on saying that, West Avenue is worse, because if the car goes wrong one way down West Avenue, the bottom end up, and it comes out onto Chapel Corner, that causes an awful lot more problems. So I agree with Councillor Wilkie in the aspect that we're going to spend money, we should be doing it at Chapel Corner to try and do something with signage or separating the roads there. Yeah, a physical barrier. And completely, can I ask you something else now, are we still talking about this?
Keep going,
I know I have spoken to you briefly about this, but I just need to bring it to the attention so the whole council can hear it. That I've been asked by quite a few members of traders on John Street regarding, yet again, people putting out an awful lot of their wares onto the pavement. So I've been asked if there is if John Street could have a clear mandate of public pavement for traders to display their products on. I know there is sort of like a wafty thing about maybe 4 flags clear or so many, but can it be put in so we have a strong visual line of where they can use and what they can use if they can be fined if they go over it? Most of them are happy, it's just a few seem to go further out than they should go out, and it causes problems with people with wheelchairs, prams, whatever. I've just been asked to bring this to your attention, so I would just like to be able to say that. And the other thing they also asked me to bring forward is, it was discussed at one occasion about possibly having it made into a pedestrian road, which I think came to the council and it was decided it wasn't possibly a viable idea. So about having it in a single line of traffic going on and making the pavement bigger, but on having a discussion, obviously then they can bring the wares further out anywhere, so I can't quite see that. But the main thing is, it appears to be how much of their wares can they put out onto the pavement to keep it safe for people. And I do notice it's come to the council before, but I think we need to get clarity on it, or try and get it so that everybody's doing the same thing on that street.
Right, thank you very much, Councillor Holden. Councillor Anthony.
Yeah, I was reminded by a member of the public that we'd done a walkabout with Andrew Stanton quite some months ago down Mitford Street. And when you go past the Star, we're still getting a lot of wagons turning right there. I think Andrew agreed that they were going to look at moving the no entry sign forward, but nothing's been sort of mentioned since. If you could follow
To
that.
move the no entry sign forward.
Forward, yes. People are actually getting the wagons in before they...
Before they...
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Councillor Shackleton.
Oh, thank you, Chair. Yeah, I just totally agree with Councillor Woolkey and Councillor Round. I think, the chapel corner is by far the greatest problem. You don't have to stand there many minutes to witness people, cutting across the other carriageway. I feel that, that if this council is asked to match, or put in any match funding for anything to do with the roads, I'd much rather see it go and be spent on the chapel corner. Can I just finish, Chair?
Yeah.
The greatest success we had with Chapel Corner was when Councillor Crossing put some coats on.
Yeah.
We saw the biggest change then.
Yeah, and they took them away now, Yorkshire.
And we did ask for some with a sign on.
Yeah.
Keep in lane or 2 hours to keep them in lane. Why can't we just try that? Why can't North Yorkshire get some bollards with directional arrows on, not just one, but half a dozen, all with arrows on, just explaining people to stop in one road. Failing that, why can't we put a barrier down the middle? And that would also say, you don't
Through you, Chair.
Just a minute, Councillor Anthony. I've got half a dozen down here.
that's it.
Right, it's... The next on the list is Councillor Hatchby, and then followed by Councillor Wright, and then Councillor Anthony.
Just a couple of points. What you do with your money is yours, Helen, but to me, an environmental grant should be spent on the environment and not sorting traffic problems out. It's for the whole of the community and for the environmental side of it, which to me is trees and making the town a nice, pleasant place to
Yeah,
be.
but I need somebody to come forward with the...
And not just traffic problems, they're inherent, they've been built into the system. Much to our chagrin. So that's my view on that one. Secondly, you may recall that the June meeting I mentioned the proliferation of blue dolphin signs all along the road between Filey and virtually Gristall and Livingston. Just after that meeting I saw a white van parked actually on a roundabout, the Gristall roundabout, planting grey cones which look identical to the official county cones. And there are 3 on the Gristall roundabout and 3 on the Muston roundabout.
all with blue dolphin signs on. They look identical to a traffic sign because they're blue. And to my mind, they're causing confusion as well as being illegal. Not only that, but the Leatherstone roundabout is full of Flower of May signs, and every traffic sign between here and Leatherstone has got a blue dolphin sign stuck on it. Now this is an annual problem that comes up year on year on year. There are hedges full of big massive signs saying blue dolphin this way to blue dolphin. They should know better. It just needs somebody from county to enforce it. They're putting them up on your assets, so surely county has a say of what can go on their assets and what can't. But for a guy to be digging official looking poles into 3 roundabouts and sticking signs on them, to my mind, is just taking the mickey out of you, just one step too far. And it looks awful. And finally, if we're looking at parking, Church Ravine needs looking at. Twice the other day, 2 lorries were backing down Church Ravine Hill because they couldn't get up because cars are parked on both sides. And what happens is they come into Filey and unload at the supermarket, and they can't get back through town, so they go down Cargate Hill, turn left and come back up Church Ravine. And of course a big wagon can't get through there. So they're having to back down a one-way street, which is Church Ravine, to go back up the Scarborough Road end of it. And to me that's dangerous, very dangerous.
I just think the whole situation regarding parking needs...
One was an Arundel high wagon, believe it or not.
But we'll keep pushing that one and see what we're
Okay.
doing with it.
Thank you, Councillor Haxby. Councillor Wright.
Right, I was going to say something really controversial, which is not good for me. That we should never have had the one-way system in the first place. It was the worst thing that ever happened to Barry Town Centre, was that one-way system of West Avenue, Bellevue. It took all that out, so all the problems in one. But it'll not happen, I know that. The other thing was the signs. Oh God, it's gone. It was something Marilyn said. Can't remember now. I'll just take it as that. I can't remember. Mitford Street, yes. John Street. Oh, they park on the pavement in John Street. You can't get past them. And one of the worst is the foreign thing, the pizzas and whatever. I don't know who they are. Anyway, the thing about the cones on the thing, I know what it was now. It was the cones outside Chapel Court. Yeah, that was the most excellent idea that Council Cross had. But we have asked for barriers on it, even low barriers. And all we're told is that if a big lorry comes across from Union Street, it hasn't got room it's got to go onto the island. But surely part of the island could be barrier. I mean, people just aren't seeing where they're going. I know it's very difficult when you go into a new town, that, you know, the signs are signs.
Well, I do think at Chapel Corner, part of the issue is that it is cobble, which looks very nice.
Yes.
But when you're a stranger there, you see cobble, you think, oh,
yes. And the lights don't stay on the cobbles.
Yeah.
The directional lines don't stay on the cobbles very long. No, I'd rather money be spent on that. If there is a solution to it, my solution is take all the one-way system out and solve it in one fell swoop.
Right, thank you for that, Councillor Wright. Councillor Anthony, then Councillor Wilkie.
Oh, I was going to answer Councillor Shackleton's question, which was about that barrier down the middle. I mean, we got a firm answer from the engineers that that wasn't possible because of what Councillor Wright said, that if we get a big turning lorry there, it would not work. So, sorry, that was my point.
Right, thank you for that. Councillor Wilkie?
Perhaps I've got something else.
I'll have somebody already
I've been
said.
asked by a couple of residents about I think it's a public rights of way, I'm not sure exactly, up the side of the country car park. So you get to the entrance and there's a lane up the side. It's getting quite overgrown and just asking who would maintain that or drop it back, cut it back, whether it's borough or the county. And seeing as borough's not here.
That's on the side of the country park.
Yeah, so there's the entrance to the country park and immediately to the left there's I think it's public right of way, isn't it, or public footpath, it's public footpath, and it's just overgrown with netballs in it.
Well, the only dealings I've with is public footpaths is when you have to open one up again on Durham's estate, and that was North Yorkshire.
I'm not sure who will do it.
They look after the
public
definitive
footpath,
map.
yeah.
They look after the
That was North Yorkshire, was that? But whether
Yeah,
the
but
borough is...
I don't know about keeping it clear, we need to find out.
I think the borough might do the work for the county possibly.
Yeah, yeah. Councillor Snake, Councillor Anthony.
Sorry,
I'm playing with this straight to the... So I write it down on here, I will put my hands up.
It's just down the main street regarding the parking. I was led to believe that, did we not have an agreement sometimes like the Spar lorries to come at a certain time before 10 o'clock, or did that not ever come to fruition? Because they are delivering all day, every day at different times. And the size of the lorries are absolutely gigantic that come down. That delivered to Dixon's on the corner, what was a Land of Green Ginger, that one, and the Italian has a humongous lorry that comes down. I don't know what anybody would think, but just not have no parking at all on the main street on the right hand side as you go down, and just have loading and unloading and disability on the left. That's just my point of view, because that's where everybody seems to do with lorries, delivering and undelivering.
Councillor Anthony first.
Can I just
You
jump
can.
in on that
Please
one
do.
before I come to the other one? I was sat outside the coffee shed the other day, and the amount of traffic, the Brunton wagon that parks outside, getting the waste and everything in front of a coffee shop, and it's blasting the fumes and everything. It's not acceptable, and the traffic's backing up because people can't get through.
Sorry, can you just repeat where that was?
Outside the coffee shed, on Murray Street. The Brunton wagon, the private waste wagons parked right outside there. And, outside the coffee shop, people have got tourists sitting out enjoying the coffee, and residents. Just totally unacceptable. The thing I was going to mention, Councillor Squires, which might not be yours actually, the grass up by the side of the church, at Churchcliffe Drive.
Yeah.
Do you know people are using that as a car park now? Is that acceptable?
Oh. Yeah. That's
Is
for
it? Perhaps that's something
so being informed.
I'd have a word
I
with
think-
Councillor Crossley.
Yeah, if you would have to,
Yeah.
please. Yeah. Councillor Wilkie.
Yeah, just going to come back on the point about the times of the roads. I think when it was Safeways or Press Before, they came early morning, 7 o'clock. We have tried to get a time for Spar. Now, whether nobody will address it or whether they're refusing, I don't know. But
So it's only really Spar that's causing the problem?
no,
but they are big
but
ones, it's not just that.
when they do park
Yeah.
there and deliver during the day, it Morris blocks the street.
Because they're for about 40 minutes, aren't they?
Yeah.
Aren't
But there are other vehicles, and now, since the council, in its wisdom at Scarborough, decided to allow the properties on the Freeton's car park to be agreed, they're now saying deliveries and things are going into Murray Street, there won't be a problem, which used to go into the Freeton's car park. So they claim there's no problem delivering and unloading in Murray Street to all the businesses. We know different, but we won't take the notice.
I just find out
But that's just
what the
something
real
else.
restrictions that there are,
Yeah.
and then it'll come down to enforcement again, though, won't it?
But there's quite a lot of lorries now, big lorries coming, that we need to talk to deliver at certain times, and we can't all.
Right, thank you for that, Councillor Wilkie. Councillor Glanville and then Councillor Shackleton. And then, I think she's running out of paper here.
You missed me out.
Well,
I
you didn't,
waving at you because I love you, I was trying to get your attention.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Councillor Roderick, if you want to speak, can you please put your hand up?
I
and
did.
I'll put your name. I didn't see it.
I know, I've got pressure that I'll just
But if you keep it up there until I see it, and then I'll write your name down, and then you'll come in on the list. Okay. Thank you. Councillor Glanville, I did say your name.
You know, Councillor Wilkes has spoilt it for me, because that's what I was going to say. Because my main worry is been all the time is building at the back of the pub. It's because we've got problems now, and 10 lorries aren't going to go and get through what they're saying on whatever road it is. They're going through, they're not going to get through. So my worry is, we didn't get it sorted when we want to get deliveries coming at a certain time, and now you're going to get his deliveries as well as the bistros as well, because he's been using the car. So you're going to get all that, so this matter's going to get worse. So we really have got to, we really need to put it on the agenda for something. We've got to really do some serious thinking about it, because it is an accident waiting to happen, and especially this time of year, we thrive for our tourists, and it's going to be, well, you just said, people that out on the country, what's worse than seeing all wagons saying, well, it's awful, isn't it?
Smell.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that. Councillor Shackleton?
Yeah, you know, I'm going to side with the poor lorry driver. Because, you know, they have a really difficult job to do delivering down this street. And these shops have got to be serviced, come what may. You're on about coffee, having a coffee. Well, I'll tell you what it is about having a coffee. That person will probably park in the loading bay that's having a coffee. When I was down Money Street the other day, a wagon driver out of his wagon and went to a car that was parked on the loading bay, and all he got was abuse from the driver. And he said, look, I've asked you politely, this is the loading bay. And all he got was taken in there. So, you know, they have a difficult job to do, and what we need to do is stop these indiscriminate parkers down there. And people parking a yard up the curb on the other side of the road, which happens.
Right, thank you for that, Councillor Shackleton. Councillor Roderick, would you like to say anything at this moment, please?
Thank you. I'm sorry to bring it down to basics, but it's about gutters. Gutters, yeah. I'm at Muscle West Road, which is at the Muscle Hill, a slope, and we get water running down. Now, we have got block gutters. They're actually going plants, which means, we got that heavy shower last week, which wasn't really all that much, but we did have ponding right across the road because it couldn't get into the drains to actually empty. There's not been, well, I can tell you the last time there was September 2013.
That's West Road.
That's West Road, the bottom of it. Yeah, both sides of that. It's compounded by the parking, so people don't most of the house, but it is becoming, and it was, it started to rain heavily, so it's winning more than it.
Well, that is the difficulty they often have when they come to do gutters and things.
Yeah. Well, the man said when he came last time that he thought the only way to do it was to sort of like, I'd stop and parking for a day and get the whole lot cleared up, because it was becoming ridiculous, but it's worse now if anything, and the pavements are now breaking up because the flats going through.
Right, thank you for that, Councillor Roderick. Councillor Anthony, and I think we should, yes, she has actually got to the bottom of the page now.
Quick reply.
I can see it from here.
Quick reply to Councillor Shackleton. It was me having the coffee. And I sat there and said to several people, will you move you in a loading bay? And luckily, a night enforcement gentleman came along and did his bit, so there.
Right, thank you very much. I take it there's no more questions for Councillor Swires at this moment? No?
I would like to press forward with this environmental budget though, and get me on the list. So if anybody does have a project, or if you feel you would like to take the cleaning of the signs and tidying up the signs further, but I need some that sort of direction.
So if anybody has any input into this, can you please get in touch with our town clerk, who will then pass them on to Councillor Swires.
I'd just like to say to Councillor Swires, we are trying to get a skate park built for the youth. You know, if you've got money to spare, we'll only be too pleased to take it from you.
Well, I delayed last year right to the last minute, which was why I was quite last minute last year, and we're still trying, but until I have assurance as to, I was going to say ownership, I don't mean the use of the land, and that that's okay, I can't give money to it. No. I'm in this cleft stick at the moment, and we just can't seem to get a proper answer as to Councillor Council regarding the use of the land.
Okay. Right, we'll leave that one for you, Councillor Cross, okay. Thank you very much for coming along, Councillor.
We've now asked Kevin, our MP, if he'll have a go for it.
Yes. Right, thank you very much. Item number 6. I will now hand over to the clerk.
My report, I hope you've all had a chance to read the report. Are any questions regarding the report?
Councillor Wilkie.
The statue in Memorial Gardens.
No, it's not on this one.
So, there's been some correspondence from Councillor Cockroach that Clark's mentioned here. So I questioned back my email to Councillor Cockroach who had instigated it, when it was brought up, and a few more details. And all I got back a reply just to myself, not to anybody else, was this was brought up months ago. So, do you know more about it before I carry on?
Myself and the Deputy Town Clerk did some investigations today to establish the timing of this information. Initially it was informed to us that it was brought to the November meeting of last year. On investigating that, it actually wasn't brought, anything wasn't brought to head in the November meeting. Only two items that were brought forward when this is actually spoken about was in the September meeting and in the January meeting, and in neither of those reports were mentioned the specific item of a statue. That the statue has yet never been mentioned as far as we can see in any of the reports from Council Cockrell, and there is nothing in the minutes either to indicate that that has been agreed, discussed, or whatever.
So to come back to that, so something was mentioned that they wanted to do something in Memorial Gardens.
There was something mentioned in terms of that the SBC would like for us to be part of any celebrations, any events that were going on, but that was nothing specifically mentioned with respect to statues or whatever.
Councillor Wrighting.
There's more emails that Councillor Cockle sent to me only as a response. And not copied everybody else in that was in the thing. So I just wanted to make Council aware of what I've got. So I asked him to clarify when it was, because I know I've missed some meetings and I missed something. So he's sort of come back to me again just to say our town council are well aware of it and they've got all the details. He's still not answering the question. He's asked me to ring him personally to clarify the situation, and that's where we are at the minute. But those are just back to me alone, not to the rest of the people. So I just wanted to make that clear, that they have responded but only to me for some reason. Right, that's fine, but I just wanted to make sure that, I don't know why he's only responded to me, not the others.
Right, thank you for that, Councillor Rose. Councillor Ryan.
Right, now then, sorry, my voice came back to me, I forgot. Right, I was confused about this, I must admit. When Councillor Cockrell first muted this to us, he said that we were going to have this celebration, and it was going to be not a statue, but like a chicken wire person of a soldier, which is going to stand in the gardens for a certain while, and then it will be taken away. Now, from somewhere, and I am sure this somewhere has come from, there's been mention of a permanent statue of a soldier, just a soldier on his own, and something about some matching the seating or something. I don't know who's put this forward. Might be the British Legion, I don't know. No, I don't know who's put this forward. It's a permanent one. But through discussion with you, through discussion with Mike, I said, well, he said as well, that why wasn't it the three, like a sailor, a soldier and an airman? Because they all lost lives, and a lot of seamen, one finally was lost in the war. So, I'm just confused with this second thing after the wire one. It was the wire one that he was on about. Wasn't saying.
Right, Councillor Shackleton.
Excuse me.
Sorry, Councillor Holden Banks and then Councillor Shackleton.
I was only joking, and
He was
no, mine was, again, with the confusion regarding this, because a member of the public came to me regarding this, and I didn't even know anything about the soldier anyway. But having looked into it, and if I'm not mistaken, it's on the finance minutes, and it's F48/18, and it's seconded by Councillor Meek and Councillor Butterworth about this soldier for £600. Now, that's all I know, because I've looked on this tonight. I don't know if that will be coming to full council for a discussion, I'm presuming it will be, but I don't know if it's permanent, whether it says there but not there statue. So what the actual statue is, sorry? And where it's going to stand, and as you say, if it's going to be permanent and not permanent. But I'm sure, hopefully when we get to the minutes, people might be able to give us more detail that are on that committee that have, obviously the first and second is the fact of it. They can give us some more information.
Right, Councillor Shackleton.
Yeah, I believe it was discussed in this chamber that this council did something for this there. And I believe it was Councillor Butterworth that initially came along to finance and stated that she found this silhouette of, I think we call it Silent Tom. So we looked at it in finance, and it was decided that it was too flimsy. It would be easily damaged and everything. So a committee was asked to go away and look at other matters, and it just eludes me at the moment who found this Silent Tom. Whether it was did you find it here? Maureen found it. So we agreed to look into it further, and it was discussed about the spending of it, and at the end of the meeting, or the discussion, I asked the RFO to ask for permission from SPC to put this Silent Tom in Memorial Gardens. The next day, I believe I got an email from David saying that Councillor Cockrell had all this matter in hand. This came from the side.
It was a state department.
So I said, well, I know nothing about this. So I asked the town clerk to to carry on with the mission, and I believe that's what he has done.
Yes,
I don't know whether we've heard anything back.
You haven't done anything more than further to the request to carry on with the request for permission.
But obviously all this has come up with, you know, because of no communication with one Scarborough Borough Council, our ward council. This is violent, and, you know, I think that this council has been right to decide to do something to commemorate this event, and I would like to see it pushed forward, as I know all in the council.
Right, thank you for that. Let me write this down on that. Parade. At this point, I will move standing order 3E and adjourn the meeting to allow Councillor Cross to speak in relation to the statute, I presume.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I don't know if the clerk can forward the email that I've just forwarded to you.
Yeah. I'll have to forward it there.
Oh, right, okay. I received an email on the 13th of July at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I thought that was good, because it said good morning from Louise Dublin in the Estates Department. And I've sent this email on, and you can all read it. It says, good morning. Bradley Town Council have contacted Estate to ask for permission to install a statue within the Memorial Gardens on Murray Street. The link below details the statue with dimensions and material. They would like to have it in the statue in place for Armistead Day. Would you have any objections? So I replied back, I have no problems with that, because by the Town Council have asked for it. And this is all in the email, and David can forward it on to you. And basically, you know, you probably can't see it there, but you know, it looks alright, sort of thing, and you know, Town Council wants it, so I said, you know, you guys can have it. But
Where's the liquid?
Marion, this email was sent to me, and it's clearly stated by the Town Council wants it, you know, but that's, you know, all I can say. I mean, but you've all got that email, and you'll all have that email. From the Estates Department.
No, it's not council.
Wait a minute. Is that right?
That's all.
Right, thank you for that, Councillor Cross. I will now end the adjournment, and only members of the council may speak. Councillor Anthony first, and then Councillor Holden Banks.
I remember quite clearly Councillor Cockrell coming to this council and telling us what Scarborough's hopes for the remembrance and everything was. And it was that they were going to pay for 3 statues, one to be in Whitby, one to be in Scarborough, and one to be in Filey. And that was quite clear that they were going to pay for it. We would decide if it was going to go in Memorial Gardens or not. And then there were also some workshops they were doing about poppies and everything, making poppies, because I wanted to get a few groups in Filey interested. I tried to get more information from the borough about those workshops. I didn't get anything. But I can clearly remember Councillor Cockrell saying that they would pay for the statue, and it would be in Memorial Gardens if that's where we wanted it. And they talked about the candlelight procession and everything. I contacted Tom quite some time ago to say what was happening with this, and nothing has been done at all about it. And that's where I understood they were, that nothing had been done. And I don't know why nothing had been done, because I did bring it up a couple of times with Tom.
Right, thank you for that, Councillor Anthony. Councillor Holden Banks.
See, I've gone completely didn't use that, Harry. I forgot what I was going to say. I don't understand why Councillor Cockrell has an interest in what we have, if it's a Filey council decision. What we want to have, if we decide, and I'm presuming Councillor Shackleton is a finance to bring it back to full council anyway. It wouldn't be on a decision that would be made of anything, so everybody would get to say of what we think would be appropriate and right. And on reflection to what Councillor Squire says about this environmental money, and if there's 5,000, what about a suggestion of having, if we're going to have it, have a nice structure in Memorial Gardens and have it planted up and have a quiet space for people to sit and think, get a better statue, a better quality, use that money for that, and then have an actual area within Memorial Gardens specifically for that, for people that have lost people at war or a Memorial Day, whatever, that is just specifically there. It's a beautiful flowers, you could make whichever part anybody decided of Memorial Gardens just dedicated to that and use the money that is available. If any, that's just an idea, so that we have some control over it. And it, so we don't know if Scarborough's actually paying for any of this, so we're paying for this then, no?
Yes.
Scarborough's paying for it.
Chair.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if that's the case then, why do we need to raise £600 for it then, Councillor Shackleton?
Well, I'd just like to say we've had no further communication on this from Councillor Shackleton. Since he probably first broached the subject back in last year. So we thought we'd better take the lead and get something organised because time's creeping on.
So that's all I'd like to say, thank you, Chair.
Right,
But if we
thank
had
you.
that money, maybe we could make it a lot bigger and better, not better, that's the wrong word to say, but a more substantial statue of all the service people, if that's what everybody feels is the right way to go.
Right, Councillor Wilkie.
I mean, my issue here is the line of communication from Councillor Cockrell to Fareham Town Council. He's saying to me that we know all about it. I'm asking him to give me the details. He can't or won't or doesn't want to give me that. He's had two chances now to explain when he told us, what it is, who knew about it, who instigated it. He's not answered any of that to anybody. And that's my big problem here with this. Why can't he just tell me what it is? What is it? Who instigated it? When it was? And when it's going to be appearing, we'll pay for it. And that's my big issue. If he's going to put a statue in, fine. If we're going to put one in, fine. It doesn't matter that. We will progress ours. And if he wants to put another one in, fine. But why can't you tell me the details? You should have the details. And that's my issue. And I will continue asking. I will not ring him. I'll continue asking and copy everybody in until he gives me an answer. Because he should be able to give me an answer if he knows all about it.
Thank you for that, Councillor Wilkie. Go on to Councillor Meek now, then Councillor Haxby and then Councillor Anthony.
Regarding what Councillor Wilkie just said, he wants you to ring in and then it's hearsay after that, there's nothing recorded. It's totally hearsay. And I think you're correct. Do not ring in. Let's have it in writing. Or email, or whatever.
Right, thank you for that, Councillor Meek. Councillor Haxby.
Yeah, the council put the 2 seats in there, which has been a fantastic success, and they look absolutely lovely. Even now, several years later, they really are nice and very well used. And the fact is that Councillor Cockrell mentioned this in passing sometime last year, and we've not heard from him since. Now, Councillor Busman happened across a page on the Facebook site or the media site, and she saw this statue which she brought to finance, saying, you know, we've got any money that we could possibly, if we agreed through full council to buy the statue. But it was a very flimsy affair. That didn't sit very well on the ground and could easily be knocked over or bent. So we said, well, we'll look at something more substantial if there is anything that might complement the 2 seats. Which is where Maureen came in, having found Silent Tommy on the website. That's how it's progressed. As I see, all the borough wants to do is present us yet again with a fait accompli, so they can spread it all over the press that we've done this, that and the other for filing. I think we should just go ahead on our own and do it. We know we get exactly what we want now. We don't get something that they've bought that might be or might not be any good. We get exactly what we want, and we can claim all the credit for it, as we should.
Thank you for that, Councillor Haxby. Councillor Anthony.
I agree partly with what Councillor Haxton says, but the thing is that I sat before, Scarborough have actually offered us something and we've actually done nothing about it. And in my mind it was quite a firm offer when Councillor Cockrell made it. I had a copy of what it said, and I'm sure that the clerk at the time had a copy of what Vin said. And I did chase it up with Tom a couple of times, so I don't know why nothing's been done, why we've never got back to Councillor Cockrell. You know, if it's something that we want to do as a council, that's wonderful. But when Scarborough have actually offered to do something for us and we just totally ignore it, doesn't make us look good as a council.
Councillor Huxley.
With all due respect, I never ever can recall there being a firm offer about anything. It was all just some nebulous idea going back to last year. There was never any money mentioned, never any design mentioned other than perhaps a wire sculpture which would have got ripped up within the first week. You know, so we ran with it as we always do.
Thank you for that, Councillor Huxley. Councillor Wright.
It's exactly as Councillor Anthony said. That was what was put forward. The money was coming from Scarborough Council. We were doing three, one in Whitby, one in Scarborough, one here. And it's like a wire one.
Yeah.
Which the wire one isn't too bad. We've had a gardener in Crescent Gardens 5-7 years. Nothing touched.
Right, Councillor Wilkie.
Just to confirm that then, if there has been a firm offer, then Councillor Cockrell, go back to my earlier point, why can't you tell me what it is?
And where is it in writing?
So,
You control it, Murray, where is it?
Councillor Huxley, can you let them
I'm
finish
not
speaking?
disputing what you're saying, but I don't know either way. I can't say yes or no. If there is, and there's done, if you've got sight of something, why can't he tell me in an email? That's my point. So I'll continue asking.
Okay, is anybody else wishing to speak? Councillor Holden Banks.
I would just like to ask the council, with this environmental money, how they feel about having an area of the Memorial Garden funded by the council with the money from North Yorkshire County Council to make an area specifically for the statue of choice, if you wish to have a more expensive statue, with the free put in or whatever, and ignore the offer if we haven't got it written down, which I'm sure maybe our clerk could find if it wasn't ever written down.
We did a quite comprehensive search this afternoon and we could not find anything on any, and we pulled up every report from Councillor Cockrell in the last 12 months. There's no mention of anything specific on that.
I'll just come in here. If Councillor Anthony has that in writing, could you bring this in for this plan?
I'm sorry, Chair, I've moved since then, so I can't.
So you haven't actually got it at the moment then?
Well, I will have it
Somewhere.
somewhere. I will endeavour to sort it out.
Well, I can understand that, yes.
Just to finish what I was going to say was, sorry, Councillor Haxton, but if this money is coming to the end of its tender for us to put a bid in and nobody's got any better idea to use it for anything, it's a community-based thing. You could have school children going down there and learning things about the war and about the family members of where people died, unless anybody's got better ideas of where to do the, there's no environment. If you did like flowers, it would be, to plant trees, you could do a living with the, that's just my opinion,
Yes, Councillor Swires is nodding there.
Oh, right, so it would be within that remit.
I'll have to withdraw standing orders if you do. Councillor Wright.
Right, well, Barry Bloom have applied and been granted some money towards some new rose trees that are the regiment of whatever. Don't ask me what regiment it is because I don't know details like that. But we're replacing some rose trees in there with these red roses that are of this particular thing. And we've got £300 from North Yorkshire County Council. I think 500 from North Yorkshire County Council. So we would be willing, if that was the case, that it all went together. Well, I'm saying that.
Councillor Hatsby.
I mean, a good idea, Marion. I doubt if anybody will ever find anything in writing from Councillor Cockrell to the effect that he was going to put something in. And the fact that Louise Dudman from Estates, on the 30th of July, which was a week ago, asked Sam if he objected to us putting the statue, indicated that even she, in Estates at Scarborough, knew nothing about Cockrell's plan. So that's how far he got ahead with his plan. Even Estates didn't know what he was planning.
Right, thank you for that. I'll just update you on something. I was at a meeting this afternoon, pretty sleeping meeting, right, and lo and behold, the chicken wire statue was mentioned by the firm that want to put it there, Marion. And they're also on about the poppies, knitted poppies and that on the background. Am I right, Councillor Anthony?
Yeah.
And this will be put in, Councillor Wright, this would be put in after the service on the 11th, and then lit up at night, and then moved straight away after it's been lit up and shown for a couple of hours, moved somewhere else in Barry. They're either talking about the Tesco's or the library. That's what we're talking about. Okay, and that's as far as I got with them. Because there was I started arguing about this, that and the other. Councillor Holden.
Is that Scarborough paying for that then? Scarborough paying for this chicken effect thing with these like
As far as I'm aware,
this is what we're discussing with our
and
finance.
I think this is where it's getting crossed.
Yes. Right. Okay.
But that's where you're at. Okay. Councillor Meek.
I've been listening to everything, but that's a good point, what Councillor Axley just pointed out. If the states don't know what's happening, where do we go to find out what is happening? Is the estates, and they don't know. So there's something where communication here doesn't exist.
Well, it's Councillor Mallory, isn't it, that's head of that?
Yeah, but if the states don't know.
So, Councillor Shackleton.
I'd just like to say, Chair, I think the idea that council and banks come up with is a fantastic idea. But it would be something to look at in the future and not for this event that we're going to have later on in the year. Just going back to the statue that we looked at, it is actually made by the same firm, I believe, that people see. So it would be a really nice statue. Whether we still want to go ahead and do that, or it's up to this council, I think we've got to the point where we need to make a decision tonight, because if it's right what Council Anthony's informed us, the Borough,
Exactly.
plans. But what annoys me is the lack of consultation by Council Wilkins and communication.
Exactly.
I don't want to sit in a meeting discussing things
No.
and then have it all blown away by somebody that's not been communicated.
Okay. Is there any more questions on the clerk's report? We're still on it.
Yeah, one last item.
Councillor Meek.
The statue that we've been looking at, it's not flimsy, it's actually 10 mil thick of steel, so it's solid.
And set on a concrete plinth as
Yeah.
well. That's what we've been looking at. I know what we've been looking at. But the other chicken wire one wouldn't have any plinth at all. All it would do is it'd be pegged into the ground while it's stood there and then taken away.
They're not permanent.
Not permanent at all. So to me, that is chicken wire. You get kids running up against it, bits sticking out. Yeah, I'm not for that. Councillor Shackleton.
Perhaps we could move the statue forward after the event then and put it in as a permanent reminder.
Yeah. That would be a good idea, actually. Yeah. Because what are we now? September, October, but I can't see it happening before then from now. September, October, November. It's got to be made, it's got to be cut out, it's got to be... I can't see it.
The lead time is only 3 or 4 weeks.
Well, yeah.
It's the longest lead time will be the getting the permission to
For
put
the
it.
scanner, for
Yeah.
council, exactly. So, okay, so if there's no more questions on the clerk's report, we'll move.
Yeah, can we just come to an agreement on this? A member's quite happy to leave it for now and perhaps put it as a permanent fixture after the event, or do we just drop the idea altogether?
Yeah, well, we've got a full council meeting.
Yeah, you know, we're all...
I know it isn't on the agenda, but
Remember, it's in the
it has
report.
been spoken about that, and it is in a report. So we can say whether we carry on with it and look into it or drop it. We can do that. Councillor Wilkie.
My feeling is that we carry on with our proposal, go ahead with it. We've got no details whatsoever what Councillor Cockle's proposing. If it's the statue that the British Legion are talking about, or is that something separate as well?
Something separate.
That's something completely separate. So, what happens if we back out and Councillor Cockle backs out, or he can't give us any, we don't know what it is, where it is, how big it is? My feeling is we go ahead with what we're doing.
On our own back.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't we? Because we have no details of anything else.
Councillor Holden Banks?
I feel if Scarborough Council want to do the chicken thing with the light up for the 24 hours, that's fine, let them go ahead and do that. But other than that, we do our own thing with our own Filey Town Council, control of what we want, and we build what we want, and we put it where we want, and we have what we want. For Filey.
Right, and Summers didn't get anything put together from it was the FGMP committee that this came from.
Yes.
It will be brought forward to
Yes.
full council to be
Yes.
ratified.
Yes.
Okay, Councillor Mead.
I'm totally in agreement, but don't forget, the main thing we want is permissions of the estates. As far as the estates are concerned, we can, once we get permission there, we go ahead.
I will take it upon myself to follow up that up tomorrow with the state to see what the progress is.
And email it round to
Yeah, and I'll email every
to
other current status.
everybody. Yeah, unless obviously our new member hasn't got their iPad yet, but so we're still waiting to get
personal email at the minute and
All right, that's fine then.
We can finalise this matter this evening if council, if you want to make more than one.
Yeah, I'll make that proposal.
Yes, we can do
And
that.
take that on the outcome of the
Yeah, the good state of right. Are you going to put the statement forward, and then Councillor Wilkie will propose that statement for it to
I'll just propose that we carry on with our statute.
Oh, have we got a second for that then? Councillor Mead, all those in favour of that, please? Sure. She's hesitating.
Sorry, I don't fully understand the proposal.
I'm proposing that what we're asking is, do we drop what we're doing in lieu of what Scarborough Council Cockrell is proposing, which we don't know what it is, or do we, and I'm proposing that we carry on with what with the silhouette statue that's...
Instead of Scarborough Council.
No, if they want to put something
Right,
in as well,
okay.
yeah, that's up to
Right,
them.
unanimous.
But we don't know.
It was only Councillor Andy.
Yeah,
I've got
sorry,
all
it
the rest of you. Okay.
You got a bit confused with the three.
Right, we'll move on then. Okay, to number 8. Wow, what?
Could I just point out that on the dates of the thing, the Britain in Bloom prize giving at York Racecourse is not right at all. The Britain in Bloom prize thing is in Belfast at the 19th of October. We don't go to the York Racecourse one. That is Yorkshire in Bloom.
Yes, because the the actual Warton Cemetery is actually in Yorkshire in Bloom.
Yes, correct.
That's why.
But it's not Britain in Bloom.
No.
It's Yorkshire in Bloom.
Right, thank you for that, Maria.
Thank you, councillor.
Okay, can we move on now? Right, we're moving on to number 8. Minutes of the ordinary meeting held on Tuesday, 17th of July 2018. You have already had a chance to read the minutes. Is there any? Could I have a proposer and a seconder to approve them? Proposer by Councillor Wright, seconded by Councillor Anthony. All those in favour of that, please? Right. Number 9, Council Committee Minutes. Council to receive a summary by the Chair of the meetings below and to note the minutes. I hope you have all had a chance to read the minutes. Before we note these minutes, could I ask the chairs of each committee if they have anything they wish to comment upon in the minutes? That's Town Guide and Map, CAP meeting, planning, finance and general purposes meeting, property and events and lighting. All those chairmen, if they have anything they wish to comment upon in the minutes, please.
I'll just stop them all on block.
Well, you can take them individually if you want. Well, we'll take them individually and then... Okay, Town and Guide and Map.
I wasn't at that meeting and Sue chaired it.
Oh, she's not here.
I was saying,
Right, Councillor Anthony.
no comments on that.
All right. Okay. We'll go to CAP meeting. Anybody at CAP meeting?
I was saying,
Councillor Anthony?
nothing
Yes.
to comment.
Okay. Planning?
Yeah, I think that's through and correct record as self-explanatory. Anyone's got any questions?
Finance and general purposes?
Okay, yeah, this is a full correct record of that meeting. As you see, it was quite a brief meeting. I think we've discussed the main point on it. I'm quite happy to answer any of the questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Property?
Yeah, nothing to add. If anybody wants to ask questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you. Events and lighting? Events and lighting. Oh, sorry.
Property.
Go on, Maria. Councillor Wright, sorry.
These chairs,
Yes.
there's about recovering these chairs. I remember going into a long discussion, and we are talking years ago, or whatever, that we were replacing these chairs. These chairs are far too heavy, cumbersome and old. And we just don't need these chairs at all. They're awful. I mean, they're uncomfortable and they're heavy and they squeak, and it's them that make the noise that you can't hear on the recording. So why are we talking about recovering them when it was replacing them?
Can I answer that?
Councillor Anthony.
Yeah. What we decided at the meeting was, we couldn't really remember what we'd agreed in the council meeting, but we had voted on it and what we were going to do.
Right.
So we asked the clerk to get the records out so we could look through to see what we'd actually voted on and what we'd agreed.
Taking a long time, because it's a long time ago.
No, this is from the last property bin.
Oh, from the project Pregnant Family. I thought you
So,
meant...
David, the clerk will be looking into that.
Right.
So when we get the next property meeting, we will be discussing what the situation is.
Councillor, are you alright?
No, I haven't finished
Oh,
yet.
oh.
Fleet Street Gardens, £40,000. I've seen somewhere. On the clerk's report. It's an horrendous amount of money to spend on something that a few dozen people go through. You know, to me, it's a lot of money to spend on something like that. So I'm not happy with that one at all.
Councillor Shackleton, then Councillor Meakin. We'll hear him first.
Yeah, just 2 points about the office furniture. My recollection is that the clerk, who was Mrs. Jeannie Robinson at the time, was asked to get 2 quotes, one for the refurbishment of the desks and the chairs, and also for new materials. At the time, members thought that the best idea would be to have these refurbished if possible, because they do form part of a tradition in the council, or in this council chamber. My next point is deck chairs. Yeah, why do we need to purchase deck chairs? Is this something that's being pushed on us because Scarborough have said we can't have deck chairs any longer for the band concerts?
No, this is something, there are not enough deck chairs to go around now. There's been a considerable shortage of deck chairs for people actually wanting them.
On the see-through?
No, on the bandstand.
Right.
On the bandstand, there must have been about 20 or 30 different people that...
I came across this problem when I was mayor, and David, the town crier, had a chat with me. And I rung Scarborough and I said, look, you've only dropped 60 deck chairs off, we need 100. So, why isn't this being done?
It has been done.
Could I just ask the clerk to clarify why it was on the agenda? We didn't ask to put it on.
I asked it.
Right. Okay.
Councillor Wright asked for it to be on the agenda from a situation that's occurred, as you rightly said, Councillor Anthony, that there has been a shortage of deck chairs around the bandstand for, in particular the bandstand concerts.
Yes.
Scarborough Borough have been communicated with, in fact, try and increase the number, but we have been told that what we have got is what we have got, and the others, they have subcontracted or their deck chair provision to someone else, and what they have got left within their possession is what we have got. And as part of the meeting, we asked that, I was asked to go and establish what the cost of these would be, and to find a location for where we would be able to store them during the winter months or whatever.
Correct. That's what I asked to be put on. And because they've just been asking. Now, the ones that are there, another one broke this week. And if it's going to happen all the time, because they're getting old, and that is all we'll ever get from Scarborough Council. I've spoken to the lady who's in charge of them, and that's it. So it does mean that we need to purchase some for ourselves. And the bandstand has been absolutely packed these last few weeks, as you can imagine, and there just isn't enough deck chairs. I know there's hundreds of seating, but not enough deck chairs for it. But if they belong to us, Scarborough would take them away and store them. So we would have to store them somewhere here or whatever.
We'd be better off looking after them ourselves.
Yes.
All
All of them, myself, and whether it's in one of those like cabin things that block up, I don't know.
Councillor, I have looked at basically replacing our existing shed with something more substantial and larger in the area that it's in. Doesn't need planning permission, it's temporary structure, and there's plenty of room to put something that would quite happily facilitate the storage of approximately 100 chairs without any problem whatsoever.
Yeah. Good idea, Ken.
Okay. Councillor Meek.
Right, going back to Queen Street Gardens, this 40,000 that's been quoted, that is just to primary work. That's not the end of the cost. When we actually voted on it earlier on this year, what we're going to do with it, I could foresee that it was going to cost a lot of money. And that is why I voted against it. And I am still under the same conclusion as I did on the night when I said we should sell it. It's going to cost a fortune. More than what you can think of.
Could I just give you a flavour of what, as Councillor Mead says, the £40,000 is an estimate, and it is probably a very conservative estimate, just to make the upper area, or to prevent the upper area from doing any further seepage down the slope. It does not in any way include anything for pathways, stepways, railings, gates, anything like that would be over and above that initial cost. And the numbers that when the lady came, I asked the lady to come along with the structural engineer just to make herself familiar with the situation. And she said that, you know, it could easily go into six figures, in the high six, or in the hundreds of thousands of pounds if we were to go down the complete track.
Councillor Trafford.
That
would be to go to the position which the council had in fact voted upon, which is to return it to an accessible garden.
Councillor Holden Bank.
Well, actually, Councillor Mead sort of like asking the questions that I was going to ask about the £40,000, which we as a council will be funding, plus whatever else might need it. And if we had to vote on it and we voted not to sell the land, then I suppose the suggestion then would be what we were going to do with the gardens. If we aren't going to keep them, what are we actually going to do with them? Are we going to just terrace them so that they're safe where people can't walk down? But that might be another discussion at another time.
Yes. Yes, that decision's never been made yet at all. So that needs looking into.
Yes.
And the property committee will look into that and bring it forward again, once again, to the full council.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything else, Councillor Wright?
Not on that, no.
Okay.
If anybody wants to ask something. Just to tell everybody, we are putting up catenary lighting or festoon lighting, whichever you want to call it, and we've done quite a good deal with lights. We're taking out the further 2 years contract with them. It's 2 years, isn't it?
It is 2 years, yes.
Yeah, and we are getting this festoon lighting. Where the bunting is at the moment, across the road, that will be warm white festoon lighting. And we have got all the permissions now for all the things, so next year there will be more bunting up as well, because we've got all the permissions for all the anchor points. And the anchor points can be exactly the same, so that saved us a lot of money. And it will look really, really nice along the and unfortunately we can't do it in other streets because there isn't the even sided. People say, well, why don't you do it in your street, why don't you do it in Bellevue? There isn't, the buildings are very up and down, 15 metres I believe, up. So we can't do that in other places.
Councillor Wilkie.
Could I ask about rescuing pairs of trains from the teetering action on the seafront? And like kite strings and things like that. Who would do that?
Borough Council. That isn't anything to do with us as a lighting, but Scarborough Council would normally come along to replace the bulbs on that, because that's theirs.
There's been a pair of trainers wrapped around the lighting near the south of the cafe at St Martin's Ravine for weeks.
Right, so we need
quite
to
good.
Oh, right.
I just wondered who would get down.
Yeah, it needs reported then to the clerk, for them to, they'll have to bring a cherry picker out, you see, to get up to it. So he could report that, but they do not belong to Borough Council, which is where confused. Town Council, they belong to Scarborough Borough Council.
Do you know what size they are?
I can't get quick close to but they're looking good, Dick.
Well,
thank you.
Right, thank you. Is there any more questions for Councillor Wright? No, if not, could I have a proposal and a seconder to note these minutes, please? Councillor Anthony proposed, Councillor Mead second, all those in favour? Thank you. Now the chairs of those meetings will actually propose them as a true and correct record when they have the meetings and sign them. Okay? Right, we'll move on. Number 10. Schedule of payments. Do any members wish to make a comment or ask questions about the schedule? Councillor Mead, Councillor Alden Banks.
Right, I can't open it right at this moment, for some unknown reason, but I have read it. When do we finish paying for the DAISY Wi-Fi internet? August.
Yeah.
And the other questions I recall is we've got repairs down for the seating twice, and the two different
incidences, programmes of work.
Right, Councillor Alden Banks.
Well, you just answered my question there, 'cause I was going to ask about the seating. The seating repairs are 1,737. Is that for these chairs?
No, that's for the memorial
chair. And the other question is, which I'm probably going to answer myself, but I'm just going to ask Councillor Shackleton, being this is he's the chair of this. The Prudential, the ABC contribution, is that another pension one?
Pension.
Yeah, just underneath it says staff pensions July. I just presumed it wasn't the same. That's it. Thank you. I'm good.
Right, thank you. Is there any more questions, please?
Yeah, thank you.
No, then, if that's the case, I will ask for a proposer and a seconder to approve the schedule. Councillor Shackleton's proposed it. Councillor Glanville seconded it. All those in favour, please. Right, number 11. As I said, ward election status. As I said previously, I congratulate and welcome Councillor Roderick onto the council. There are a number of vacancies on various committees, these being Events and Lighting Committee, Property Committee, and Town Guide and Map Committee. As Councillor Roderick had time to consider the committees she wishes to be considered for.
Actually, no. The reason being that I couldn't get a copy of the tonight, and I only got them tonight. But I will have a look through and see what's needed, and I will get back to you as soon as I can.
So you would prefer to consider your options and bring your considerations to the next meeting?
Yeah, I've got absolutely no idea what I'm supposed to do, because I said I've not been able to get anything off the website, so I was sort of in blissful ignorance.
Okay then. Right, we'll move on then to number 12. Yes,
sorry, I was just going to say that I'd have to put myself forward for the Filey Tourism one, the vacancy for that seat. Because I stood off it, so Councillor KCS was on it, and now he's not on it, so I will go back on it.
Oh,
if
right.
that's any help to anything.
Right. Have we got a proposer and a seconder for Councillor Alden Banks? Councillor Anthony and Councillor Wright, all those in favour, please, of that?
Oh, thank you.
You can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Okay, yes. Is there anybody else want to put their name forward for a committee, for one of the committees while we're on this? We've still got Lighting, Property Committee, Town Guide and Map. Yeah. Or we'll wait until the next meeting so the positions can be available for Councillor Roderick.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Right. Okay then. Yes, Councillor Wright.
Just to say, the turnout for the election was extremely poor. 8%, I believe, so told, I don't do percentages, but that's what I'm told. It was extremely bad. I spoke to several people in the street. They had no idea there was an election on. They never had a card to say or anything, which was this council's decision. So I think it was an absolute farce, really, to be quite honest with you.
Councillor Shackleton, then Councillor
The
Hart.
fact that any householder in Filey says that we didn't know. they didn't obviously read the
No.
Valley Council, it goes out to every household.
Yeah.
Councillor Haxley?
Yeah, just prior to the election, Mr Chairman, there was an article placed on Facebook by a Whitby reporter regarding certain activities by Councillor Roderick. I won't go into details, everybody can read them if they want to. But I've been made aware that she's made allegations that it was me that passed the information on to the reporter at Whitby. I can categorically state to her that it was not me. I have never spoken to him about her, nor would I ever want to. I have far more better things to do with my time than to dig up her sordid details. And it wasn't me that I take great attention.
I'm sorry, sir, but he's seriously out of order here. No, I will not. He is seriously out of order. It is not the first time he has done it. Because at the last meeting I came...
Point of order, Mr Chairman.
She can't come into this.
No, this is what I'm trying to say. You've got to let the speaker finish.
I'm sorry, Mr Chairman, but I do object to the word sordid, which I think he should withdraw immediately, as this is being recorded.
And then you have the chance, when you speak, to say that to him. This is what it's all about.
I know what it is all about. I know what Councillor Haxby is all about.
Councillor Roderick, will you listen to me, please? It is why we actually come through the chair, so one person speaks at a time, so you can hear what they're saying. If half a dozen people speak, you haven't a clue what they're saying, you're just taking on whatever comes out of the air. So, in future, if you could come through the chair, please, and I'm not being aggressive or anything like that about it, but if you could do that, it would make life a lot easier for yourself and for the actual speaker. Thank you. Councillor Haxby, have you finished on that?
Certainly, Mr Chairman.
Right, now you can read.
I wish to object to Councillor Haxby's allegations. The report that he was one of the people responsible was actually fed to me by somebody else who knows the gentleman in Whitby rather well. If this is incorrect, I'll give you my wholehearted apology, and I will seriously misinform you.
Thank you.
However, I wish you now to withdraw the word sordid, because there are implications to that which you clearly do not understand or care about, if I might just say that.
In my mind, they are sordid and unwholesome. They are not very nice comments that have been made about you. I won't go into details. I will if you want me to.
No, you don't. Excuse me, look,
I use the English language as I see appropriate, Mr Chairman, and I will watch
Once again, Councillor Roderick, will you please let him finish and then you come back in again. It's quite simple and easy to do. And then you get the full floor to speak. Okay? Okay. All right. Right. At this point, I'm going to move standing order 3E and adjourn the meeting to allow Tony Green to speak in relation to the item of business currently being discussed. Tony.
I can confirm to you, Mr Chair, that Councillor Haxby is not guilty of what he's being accused of. He did not pass any information to Nigel Ward. Thank you.
Right, thank you for that. Have you finished now?
Finished.
Right, thank you, Mr. Green, sorry. I will now end the adjournment and only members of the council may speak. Councillor Haxley.
Dictionary terms of sordid involving immoral or dishonourable actions and motives, arousing moral distaste and contempt.
Immoral.
No, that is sordid.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and that's exactly what I'm...
If I might now speak, sir.
Yes, you can now
Thank you.
reply.
I find this rather amusing that this is grand estate. I have never hidden it, I have always offered to discuss it with anybody that wanted to discuss it, because people actually knew about it before. I spoke to several people about it, explained the circumstances about what went on in Rotherham, how it went on in Rotherham, and all the rest of it. And for that reason, I don't object to these allegations of sordid and immoral. You might consider it to be, you don't know full circumstances. If you would wish me to go into full circumstances, I will do so, but it's like to take the next half an hour. The point of the matter was that I was very much a victim of something that was going on in Rotherham at the time. It was not, how can we put it, it was not unknown in Rotherham what was going on at the time. And I unfortunately fell into rather a bad position with it because I had been involved with things previously. At the time, there were a lot of things coming out in Rotherham, still not hit the press, regarding child grooming, boat rigging, you name it, it had all been down to the same people. I knew them, I knew all about them, and me being me up my mouth and said what I thought. We had finished up stacking the clock, so leaking information, oh, it was a wonderful time there. The point of the matter is that these matters are not as cut and dry as they seem to be. It's no longer possible to appeal that decision because the Department itself doesn't exist anymore. So I don't know where it was. There was an appealing at the time when it was discontinued in 2012, and what happened after that I don't know because it's just not there anymore. When evidence actually was brought to light by somebody else as to what had actually gone on. And the meeting, the minutes of the meeting were actually produced, which I thought was quite funny. And that is it.
Right, thank you for that, Councillor Roderick. Are there any more questions, please? No? Okay, we'll move on now then. And we'll go on to Filey's recent accolades. Can I ask for comments and suggestions for discussion as to how these accolades can be best used with respect to promote the town? 1. Voted best speech in Great Britain by the Sunday broadsheet. Name 3 places as one of the country's top accolades. Yeah, I will get one wrong. Venues by a large tourism agency. Awarded Green Flag status, July 2018, for Filey's outstanding parks and open spaces. Those are the 3 things. Any suggestions how we could use those to promote and respect the town? Is there any ideas? Councillor Granville.
Sorry, it's not an idea, it's just, we're always pulling Scarborough Council down, but I must admit, I frequent the little paddling call, and it's been wonderful, and the Scarborough employee there does an amazing job. He keeps that pool clean, he empties the bins more times than he's there all the time. I had a chance to talk to him, and I must admit, he's done a cracking job, and it's all good because it's had so much use on when it's been lovely. So I just think, you know, it's just nice that we have got something that is useful.
Yeah. There is one thing, the local council's award, the quality status, will be coming up in, I think it's about 2 years, is it?
2020.
Yeah, 2020. This could be used towards that as well. Right, that's one thing. Is there any others? Councillor Anthony.
I just think as a council we don't actually do enough to promote Filey. We're not very good at putting ourselves out there. There are not enough signs celebrating what we do. I mean, the green flag status, I didn't even know about that. Do we have a green flag at the zoo?
Yes, we do.
You know, but nobody ever says...
Yeah,
well, yeah, right on there, but nobody ever says, you know, Filey, green flag status or anything on that.
Well, the borough actually took some photographs of it going up and people holding the flag and that, so I've never seen them in the paper.
No.
No. Councillor Haxley.
Yeah, the great accolades, Mr. Chairman. I think Welcome to Yorkshire should be involved a lot more. They've got fingers that reach out far, far further than we ever could. And, you know, let's use their publicity machine
Yeah.
and ask them if they, I mean, I know they're biased towards Scarborough, but, you know, there's no harm in asking them if they would help us promote and what they thought, say that's a professional.
Yeah. Right, thank you for that one. We've got Councillor Wilkie on the sheet, then Councillor Banks, and then Councillor Anthony, Councillor Wright.
I was going to mention Welcome to Yorkshire as well, and I think in the past we've thought about the guide, but because it's a 2-year thing, some things will back it up. In the second year we might not have that thing, but I think there's a small band of people jump on these things and use social media, isn't there, well, to promote it, but maybe to get the blanket effect that, you know, we might want. But I'm not really sure how else we can, you know, apart from getting up north to get involved and things like that, you know, send it to them as a report. But, I mean, there's all sorts of photos and everything promoting the front of that, isn't there? The people that come on the A64 must really want to come to these clubs because
Councillor Holden Banks.
I think we just need to, in agreement with Councillor Anthony, we just need to promote, and also in agreement with Councillor Wilkin Haxby that we need to get to the Welcome to Yorkshire, we need to get Scarborough Council to promote us, to let them know exactly what we've done, get it spread all over their websites and all their far-reaching fingers that they can go to, and because when the Whitby regatta and stuff, they seem to promote that, so we just need to maybe, I don't know, head up a team to get a promotional team going. I don't mind being the person that might try and go forward with it, to work with other people to promote with tourism and Chamber of Trade and move it forward with all individual groups that we already have that work for Filey, and see if we can push forward, you know, quite a good strong structure of Filey and what we've all reached and all the accolades that we've got currently. So for a year, whilst we have them, not as like Councillor Wilkie said, you can't put it in the next thing, so might not have it in 2 years.
Councillor Wright.
I think that you have to belong to, you have to pay a membership to Welcome to Yorkshire for them to do anything for you. That's what I've been told. So we ought to consider that as a council, we join as a member of Welcome to Yorkshire. And also, I don't see why it can't go in the guide and say this was awarded in so-and-so. Yeah, but also, why doesn't it go on Filey Town Council paperwork? If you look along Scarborough Council's paperwork, it has a line of things along the bottom saying what they have got accolades in. I think that we should have it along the bottom of our paperwork and on the website. And I think the website should be made more of. And it was suggested at one point that we had a Facebook site, but that never got off the ground.
Thank you for that, Councillor Shackleton.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea from Councillor Wright.
Anthony.
How about a dedicated page in the guide, just to celebrate, you know, and let people know about previous awards.
Yes.
But you know, the best publicity we can get for Filey is by word of mouth. And if we keep doing what we're doing in Filey, people will still come. You only to look at this weekend and the success of, you know, the Lifeboat weekend. It's been absolutely tremendous. And as I say, if we keep doing what we're doing in Filey, also we've had great publicity. You know, the best we could have got was getting the #1 beach. You know, that must go a long way. But as long as we keep, as I say, keep doing what we're doing in Filey, keep families coming, we'll be alright.
I just thought of one more thing. Yes, Mr. Mayor, sorry. And that is, do a poster for each of the boards, a list of what we have accolades in, but make sure it's kept nicely pristine, not faded.
No. Councillor Anthony.
It would be nice to have something when people come into town saying
you know, Best Beach or whatever, you know, the signs.
Yeah.
Big signs.
The big,
Yeah, a
like
big
right
sign
across.
saying Best Beach and Green Flag.
But there is those sort of boards, but you have to apply to have them put up.
Yeah, but why
Council
why
should be
could we-
leading us.
I'll ask Miles if they're putting the white rose
Yeah.
as well.
And it should certainly be on the website.
Well, that gets
Be on the
all
website.
over Yorkshire and
Yeah.
Lincoln does that.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
so.
And I sort of underline what Councillor
Right.
Wright said. That, you know, having it on the note paper would be good.
Okay, well, that's a few ideas.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Number 13, we've just got this one to go now.
Sorry, Chair, before we move on, can I just say, are we going to action some of that, or is it just ideas?
I will take that to this guidance.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, exactly. Okay, Councillor Haxby.
It's just been mentioned that, would it be appropriate for us to write to the RNLI, just thanking them for such a successful weekend?
From the local
The
one.
town's been heaving,
Yeah.
they raised over £10,000 in 3 days, which has beaten all records. And they couldn't have wanted it at the time, you know. It's absolutely heaving. And I just think a nice letter of thanks to the organising committee and for the RNLI would be really nice, Mr Chairman.
From the full council, yes.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah. I've already written from them myself, so, well, it's in stadium round.
I apologise if it ended, but that was too close.
Councillor Shackleton.
Yeah, just briefly, I've just heard Councillor Taxby and London away, and I heard him mention the borough. Well, surely the borough's a member of Welcome to Yorkshire, so shouldn't we come under that umbrella?
I don't know.
No, I
You'd
don't.
have to let.
We'll find out.
We are part of the borough.
Janet Deacon is the person to get in touch with and ask her. As a member of the borough, are we a member of Yorkshire?
I mean, is it actually Scarborough Town that's a member, or is it the borough?
Or is it such a thing?
If it's the borough, well, we're members.
Councillor Anthony.
There's something a bit odd about this thing about Welcome to Yorkshire, because I've just discovered that trying to put any leaflets of anybody who is not a member of Welcome to Yorkshire is being taken out of the Everon Centre, which to me I think is shameful. And I don't know how we would approach to question that. Yeah, I mean, as a council, I think we ought to take up that point. I mean, you know.
I'll come back there.
Yeah, people are coming in and asking for certain leaflets, and we don't have anybody there manning it, but the people that are doing the coffee mornings, Monday and Wednesday, are having to say, we're not allowed to stop them. That's appalling.
Apparently, I was in there one day when the Scarborough Council man said, I believe when he passed, and he said that we're not doing this any longer in here, and the only reason those stamps are in that foyer is to Ben from the post office. He's taken them over. They deliver the stuff to him and he puts them out and looks after them.
Councillor Holden Barnes.
Councillor Shackleton.
Yes.
No, I called you Councillor Holden Barnes. I forgot his name.
It was just to say, at the beginning of this conversation, when I first came in, I said about going through the Scarborough Council and getting on to them, which reiterates what Councillor Wright and Councillor Anthony is saying, that should be in conjunction with Welcome to Yorkshire, and they should be able to outline what is available to us to advertise how well planted and everything.